Ubisoft have found themselves in trouble once more in the eyes of the public, and that's all thanks to this new delay. But could this all be a call for a change over at Ubisoft as we know it? Let's break that all down, up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. Alright, so I know when we talk about Ubisoft lately, it's more bad than good. Tons of games have released over the years from this studio, with a good chunk of them being Assassin's Creed games, which is a franchise I do enjoy. And I know for a fact at first I did have mixed feelings on these titles like Valhalla and Odyssey, but as the years went on and as I played them more, I actually enjoyed them. More specifically Odyssey because of Cassandra, I just love that character, but yeah, you get the point. And this is coming from someone who used to play these games religiously, and when Ubisoft strayed off the path of the classic Assassin's Creed formula, that's pretty much when I checked out. But over recent years, we've seen Ubisoft come to the light when talking about that classic formula, and that's all in games like Mirage, and now the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows. Shadows was a game a lot of older Assassin's Creed fans have been dying for, mainly because of the setting in feudal Japan and the prospect of being a samurai. Well, now Ubisoft found themselves in one big mess when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I do feel like that's because of a lot of reasons. When it first got revealed, people had their gripes about the game, but the overall hype was there. This game was, keyword there being was, planned for October of this year. But that all changed when this news dropped yesterday. That's right, it was recently announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows will be delayed to February 14th, 2025. Now, the reasoning behind this delay was the classic we need to add more polish to the game, which I totally 1000% am behind. And that's mainly because I'd like to see this game stick the landing, mainly because I do love Assassin's Creed. I think there's a lot riding on this game, but yeah, let's just delay it to make sure it works out great in the end. But there is another weird situation going on here, and this all has to do with what's going on behind the scenes over at Ubisoft. Upon getting this news about Shadows getting delayed, some news around Star Wars Outlaws also came out. And that's the game pretty much underperformed, and it came directly from Ubisoft, which is kind of odd. Now, the final bit of news coming from the studio is not good, because now an internal investigation has been launched over the lack of success. Quote, in the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency when delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the executive committee, under the supervision of the board of directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience. And our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. You know when you're read something and you just can't help but smell that something stinks? I think that's going on with Ubisoft. Now, following all that news, an internal email was sent out to employees that pretty much mimicked the same sentiment, that the main goal of the company was to make good games that a global audience can get behind. Now, keeping all that in mind, I kind of want to go back to the initial controversy that surrounded Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's when you can kind of see things are starting to come together. I mean, they had to issue an apology to the Japanese community, and I'm not going to dive into specifics there, but if you've been on the internet, it's been talked about before. But I do think people can kind of go back to the most recent trailer and that initial reveal trailer and see the like to dislike ratios are way out of control. Now, some may choose to just flat out ignore this, but this is a growing issue at the end of the day, and Ubisoft for sure sees this and knows that it is affecting their bottom line. But I also feel like they wouldn't have addressed this topic either if that line was still going up at the end of the day. But right now, I think Ubisoft is in full panic mode, and I don't really think they're too confident in Assassin's Creed Shadows. So now they're kind of stuck scrambling to get positive feedback, departing from the typical season pass model, and the game is now getting a day one release on Steam. And I think that's all to get that positive feedback they so desperately need. But I do think the future of Ubisoft, at least as we know it right now, it all kind of hinges on this next game. If it sticks the landing, great, and they fix the issues, great. But if this game flops, Ubisoft as we know it is gone. But I guess some people will be pretty happy about that. I'm kind of one of those people because I think there's changes that need to be made here. But yeah, it's very interesting. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this off to you guys. What do you think about this whole situation? And what do you think of Assassin's Creed Shadows? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video. And this has been the Level Up.